Oh, are we here? Are we here? Hello, hello. How's it going, my fellow squids? It's 2025. Brand new year, brand new stream. Back from break, baby. Your Yam does not take much time off. He starts getting antsy. He starts getting ready to go. And there is an awful winter freeze here in Texas. And so the riding has been kind of put on hold. I think tomorrow and the day after, it's going to start actually snowing and sleeting, sub-freezing temperatures. Horrible, horrible stuff. Blue Stella, here we go. Happy Wednesday. That's right. Thank you for joining in. Got the boys coming on in. Can't tell how many we have just yet because the concurrent viewer thing takes a little bit, lags a little bit. How we doing, everybody? We have a great show for you today. It's going to be a good one. We got some good questions, some fun bikes. I took a peek at them, some good trivia, and then a surprise mystery box powered by my wife. And no, it is not a male happy device. Let's put it that way. Although that would be very funny, but not good for stream. So it's going to be, I really don't know what it is. It looks like some sort of, I mean, I held it because I brought it up here, but it was a last minute thing because producer Logan did not get the mystery box in on time, so we had to get Miss Yam to do one for us. Level Up Moto says, "Let's full send the stream." Hell yeah, baby. Fran Cecilia, hi from Spain. What's the weather in Spain like? Let me know. Let me know. Jacob says, got an Aprilia RS660 for a first bike. Does it get the Yammie seal of approval? A little too expensive, a little too powerful for a beginner bike for my taste. But it's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't do it. I would have gotten an RS457. Look at that. They make one that's basically the same thing you could have some fun with. So, yeah. Super cold here in Texas here in the next coming days. I got a busted up Grom I got to fix because I just keep looping the damn thing, learning how to wheelie. I'm having so much fun with that. And my Gixxer track bike is at the shop. So nothing's happening with motorcycles right now. Everything's just on pause. I think I've gotten out to ride once so far this year because the weather was okay. And now it's just going to go freezing again. Cora Juasa says 48 degrees in Florida. Yeah, that's a little chilly for Florida, for sure. Sawyer says, I'm going from a CRF 300 Rally to a 2018 Street Triple RS. Am I going to die? You're not going to die, but you are going to feel a prodigious increase in power. I'm excited for you. You're about to have a lot of fun. Yaka Base Vic actually had something on here that I wanted to talk about. I think I made a video about it yesterday. I commented on the dude getting a leader bike. I checked back on that video. That video was recommended to me with, I think it had like 600 views. Like nobody had seen this video yet. And I was like, why is this getting recommended to me? And the title was No Experience, No MSF. I bought a 1000cc bike. And I was like, I gotta watch this. You know, it's cold. I'm not doing jack shit here at the office. I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. Let me check this video out. And it was so painful watching this guy poodle around on the bike. And I was so scared for him that I genuinely meant what I said in that video. That I was like, dude, just get off the bike. Like, I feel like this was recommended to me so I could save your life. Just get off the damn bike. Like, you don't look comfortable, bro. And so I made there's a video I think coming out next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday. Where I talk about 1000cc bikes for beginners and all this stuff. Because it just kind of blew my mind. If someone has the link to that video, they drop it in chat so people can check it out. Don't go hate on the guy. Don't go comment and tell him he's a dummy and all that. I think enough people have told him that he probably already feels, some of the pain about that. But God, that was such a crazy video. Crazy video. Yakabe says, and no license. Yeah, that's right. He had no experience, no license, no MSF. Just he bought a Gixxer Thou. Crazy. Crazy. Totally nuts, man. Totally nuts. So yeah, that one's gonna have a lot of mileage on it. I don't know what the view count is up on it now, but I checked back in and quite a few people had thumbs up my comment, and I think most people are being reasonable about it. So yeah. Andreas asked, love your channel. Thinking of buying a KTM 500 for my first bike. Thoughts? That's a beast of a bike, man. Beast of a bike. I had a Husky FE 501, same platform, same motor. That thing will power wheelie in fourth gear. It's a monster engine, lightweight, fun, capable, great motorcycle. If you have no motorcycling experience, not ideal. It's pretty hairy. It's tall, it's aggressive, it's fast, it's torquey. So maybe not the best choice, but if you're like some dirt bike guy, then you might be fine. Yakabe says that's the vid. Pin it. I think the settings for this chat are like I don't think people can post links. I'm gonna post the link. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. What was this dude's name? Built Marrow. That's right. I found it. There we go. Found it. Okay. Let me see if it lets me post on here. There we go. There we go. Yeah, well, we can use it as a teachable moment if you guys haven't seen it. Because it is genuinely, again, please don't go to this guy's channel and just hate on him. He doesn't deserve that. But just if you want to see what it would, this is the most realistic view I've ever seen of someone doing this. Like, it is the most honest 1000cc beginner starter video I've ever seen, where this guy looks terrified and can barely ride the bike. So yeah. Ken says, what are you talking about? Cold. I'm watching Southern California burn to the ground from the hot Santa Ana winds fanning the fires. Super scary. Super scary stuff. I hope everyone who's out there in California right now is staying safe, because that's pretty nuts. So yeah. Yammie Dolan asks, hey Yammie, is an R1 a good upgrade from an Ninja 500? Not particularly. You're skipping like maybe 2 steps in the middle there. If you really want to go full send, get like an MT-09. It's gonna feel super fast. Don't go full R1. That's pretty crazy. Take your time. Take your time. Build up to it. Leader bikes are no joke. Get maybe the R9. R9 would be a plenty big upgrade from that. You could do a 600. I mean, take your time with it. Take your time. No need for an R1. Fred said, it's been riding my R3 on track for about 8 months, looking for an upgrade. Very cool that you're riding an R3 on track. I would say track prepped SV650. You want to go, ultra cheap bastard at the track. Be one of those bikes winning, or be one of those guys winning at life, showing up with a $3,000 track bike, knowing you got money in the bank. Love it. You could do that, or a classic 600 would be fun too. Level Up Moto says ZX4 would be fun on track. That would be fun. You get the feeling of a big bike with the inline 4 power band. Not too fast, you still learn a lot with it. So that's pretty cool. Pri says, yo, congrats on being a father. Thank you very much. If I win the Street Triple, I'm personally flying over and we're doing a track day. Hell yes, please. That would be so sick. I should offer that to the next person that wins. Like, if you got a suit, come through, because I'm literally just an hour away from the racetrack now, so it's really awesome. Odium says, hey, Yams, what's your thoughts on the 0304 ZX6R? I mean, classic, goated, amazing. I think that was the first year for the 636, so that was pretty cool, too. Yeah, very, very cool. If you can find one that's not too molested, that's a good one as well. Malamoto says, dealer bricked my bike during an update. I have to wait a couple of weeks now. Ugh. How does that even happen? KTM? Probably KTM. Jeez. All right, boys. What do you say we get the show on the road? Got 116 people on chat. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's get it popping, huh? We start out the stream, as always, riders' questions answered. If you guys have questions you want me to answer on stream, drop them in the chat. I do try to read the stream. There's a lot to get through on the actual riders' questions answered. If you want me to answer any question not on stream, you can join as a member on YammieNoob.co, and then on Discord, I try to answer all the questions I get. The community on there is really cool too, answering questions. So without further ado, let's get into it, boys, shall we? Come on. All right. Frostblade on YouTube asked, how do I get started in a motorcycle racing? Okay, big question. I'll try to give you a TLDR. If you're looking at road racing, The way you get started is to find what organization in your local area is sanctioned by the AMA to operate races. Here in Texas, that's the CMRA, the Central Motorcycle Racing Association. They do all the racing for Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, like basically this huge area where people can come through and then ride. The way you get started with an organization like that is by following their rules. You would contact the organization. Typically, they have racer preparation programs so you can learn the rules, learn the flags, learn the procedures, learn how they do stuff at this organization. You then do a class, you do a provisional licensing thing, you become a prov nov, a provisional novice. You then have to do, I think it's 2 race weekends where you don't crash. You don't have to win, you don't have to podium, nothing like that. You just don't have, all you have to do is just not crash. Just show up, ride, not crash, and then you will not be a provisional novice anymore, and you won't have to wear a little yellow vest. If you ever see anybody racing and they have like a little yellow vest on, they're a prov nov. But a lot of people sandbag as a prov nov and are actually pretty fast. So then from there, you kind of keep going and you keep racing and having fun. That's how you get started racing. Dirt bikes are a little different. I'm not super familiar with how kids get started motocross riding and stuff. I imagine it's pretty similar. I don't think you need to be licensed. There's no prov knob stuff. I've seen like 6-year-olds on KX85s just ripping it up. It's way more like backyard racing with motocross stuff. I know people take it really serious, but it's a little bit more grassroots with moto. But I'm not the best guy to ask because I've never really done motocross racing. I've goofed around with dirt bikes here and there. But that's how you get started road racing motorcycles. And we had a quick question on here. Somebody asked, I think it was earlier, what my favorite, Dirty Kid, what's my favorite bike that I own? Currently it's my Grom because it's been hilarious to keep wheeling it and learning how to wheelie it. But I do love my Touareg 660 right now. That's my favorite bike. All right, Mike Thompson, W8I. Have you ever ridden a trials bike? I'm considering trials as a way to enhance my riding skills. So you have any experience in this niche of motorcycling? So I've never ridden a trials bike. But I think that low speed balance, the finesse of the clutch control, the kind of amazing things you can do with the trials bike will enhance your riding skills in general. It was something I actually considered when I was a little bit more serious with racing and stuff. I kind of had a sort of diet of motorcycling, if you will. I would do enduro, I would do motocross, I do road racing, I did a lot of cycling. I kind of did a lot of two-wheel disciplines to kind of create a nice balanced diet to help with all of my motorcycling, and it works pretty well. But if you want to stay really focused on something, you just do that one thing, and that usually makes more sense, right? So if you are currently riding a lot of trails on an enduro motorcycle, a trials bike could be a great way to add to your experience. And also, trials bikes are cheap; they kind of run forever, and they're just really interesting machines. So I am definitely a big fan of them, and I think you can gain a lot of experience. If somebody on chat rides a trials bike or has ridden one, feel free to add some context to that as well, because I've never ridden one, but I do have quite a bit of experience with, enduro, dirt bikes, trail bikes, and all that sort of thing, and I know that trials can really help with that as well. Steven, Two Wheels on YouTube. What initially got you into sport bikes over any other types? So this is a fun story because I think people think of me as like the sport bike guy, and I kind of am, but I'm also not really. Like I haven't owned a personal sport bike in my stable for a long time. But the thing that got me into sport bikes originally was my buddy showed me cafe racer motorcycles when I was in high school, and I was like, man, those are so cool. And I went on the Triumph website and I saw that they had a sport category because I always liked fast bikes. I watched Valentino Rossi when I was younger. I liked MotoGP. I liked racing. I liked things that went fast, right? But like really a classic styled cafe racer is what got me into motorcycling. And I was like, oh, that looks really cool and beautiful and interesting. And then on the Triumph website in, I think it was 2011 that I saw this, I saw the Daytona 675 and I thought, wow, that's a beautiful motorcycle. It was the 675. It might have been the R because that was a 2012 model year. I can't remember, but I do remember it was white on the website. And I just heard the sound that it made and the way that it revved out, and then I looked more into it, and I was like, they're all like this? All sport bikes rev to like 14,000 RPM? At the time, we hadn't gotten the torquey naked bikes yet at that moment. So most things were 600s and thousands that revved out really bad. And that's what kind of got me into it, where I just thought that it was so cool that you could get this thing that had so much racing prowess and pedigree for relatively little money. I was like, well, that's really cool that you can get something like that. So that's really where the love of sport bikes began for me. And then I mean, the reason I own my Ducati Scrambler was because I saw those classic styled bikes and I still had a really big soft spot for them. And I do think they look really cool and beautiful. So that was the idea there. Skids had a question on here actually that I wanted to answer because we actually got some intel on this. He said if Ducati's going to put the 698 in any other bikes, a not so super sport, they actually came out and said that they have no plans to put the 698 mono into anything else, which I think is incomprehensible that they're going to do that. But that's what Ducati said. Gregory Deutsch, 3530 on YouTube. How about a test ride of a Buell Super Cruiser? If people are throwing me the keys to one, happily. I would happily do that. We have a pretty good relationship with Buell. We got to try out that Hammerhead back in 2023. And, man, if they want to throw me the keys, I would happily do a test ride. I'd happily track test a Buell Super Cruiser. How about that? All right, Mike the Nerd Ranger on YouTube. Interesting question. Why are touring bikes considered old man dad bikes? Where did this stigma come from? Chat, I would be interested to hear your thoughts on why touring bikes are old man dad bikes. I have my own, like ideas and opinions about this, but I'm actually curious what you guys think. So I think one of the reasons that touring bikes have become kind of stigmatized with dads is because, if you can believe it, the average age of a motorcyclist in America today is 50 years old, right? 1 out of every 3 motorcycles sold in the United States is a Harley Davidson. Most people who buy Harley Davidsons go long distance with them. They buy big baggers. They buy those touring styled Harleys. They're not buying Sportsters, right? More often than not, they're buying Halo products. They're buying, the big ones. And so I think statistically speaking, if you were to just blindfold yourself and shake a stick at a random motorcyclist in America, it'd be some 50-year-old guy on a Harley Davidson. So, if that's the most common thing, right, I think that that's going to be where the stigma would come from, because that's more often than not the type of rider that I see. It's an old guy on a touring bike, right? Could be a Goldwing, could be a Harley, could be a BMW, but that's kind of what motorcycling has become. We kind of forget in our little world of adventure bikes and dual sports and sport bikes, and we're all got like young, stupid yeet energy. Most people think motorcycles are just old man things, or they think it's just morons with crotch rockets. That's about it, honestly. So chat saying, Lou says, touring bikes equal dad bikes because they're comfy and not in a hurry to get places. Touring bikes come from a long line of dads riding them and not popping Sigma wheelies. Touring bikes feel like old man bikes because they're not nimble and they focus on comfort. And, of course, the obvious, because old men and dads ride them. So I think that's kind of where the stigma comes from. But I've met plenty of young guys on touring bikes. I just think it's like if you're young and limber enough, why wouldn't you get like an adventure bike or a sport touring bike or something a little bit more fun? To me, it kind of feels like, you have time. You have time. There was a question on chat here. Flavio Ramirez, thank you for the $4.99, my friend. I appreciate it. This guy says, hey, Yammie Noob, I've never owned a bike. What would be a good starter bike? I'm a short dude at 5'5". At what point does miles become a concern? I'm not sure what the second question is implying there, so I apologize, Flavio, but I'll try to answer the best I can. So anything with a shorter seat height is going to be a good choice for an entry-level rider who is a little bit short and a little concerned about getting both feet down. But you'd be surprised at 5'5", depending on the way your body is set up, right? If you have really short legs, might be challenging. But if you're kind of like an average build, you're plenty big enough to ride most motorcycles, it might be a little bit challenging with like, a big old adventure bike, but most bikes you'd be pretty okay with. But I'd recommend, you could look at a Honda Rebel 500. That's a nice, approachable, low seat height. The vast majority of the entry level Japanese sport offerings have low seat heights. Your Ninja 400s, your 500s now. Your R3s, MTO3s have like a 30.2-inch seat height, which I believe is the same as a Grom. So look in that category. When you're doing your research on what bike you'd like to buy, seat height is going to be important. Anything with a 30.5-inch seat height is going to be super easy for you to ride. So that would be my recommendation. All right, scroll down to chat here. Okay. CJ Whitmire on YouTube. If I own a super powerful motorcycle and get used to this power and torque, will that not ruin all other bikes for me? Absolutely not. I think focusing on power and torque only with a motorcycle is a pretty limiting way of enjoying bikes. There are so many interesting experiences that so many bikes can offer. I'll give you a perfect example. So I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, I owned my venerable Turbo Hayabusa, my legendary Turbo Busa, the bike that genuinely like warped and ruined my brain when it came to power. 300 wheel horsepower, 160 foot-pounds of torque. It could do 190 miles an hour in the blink of an eye, right? Pretty intense bike. I would still jump on something like a WR250 that had a tenth of the horsepower, and I would have a ball. I would have so much fun because it was so different, right? Super powerful bikes are interesting for a short period of time in your life. I think most people try them, experience them, and then you're kind of like, well, I want something a little different. So you're not going to ruin yourself for other motorcycles. You're basically going to probably find new experiences and just try out some other stuff, right? Like, the way a bike makes its power is also super interesting, right? If you own a super fast inline 4 machine, you could try a supermoto, a single cylinder that's torquey as hell, and that's super interesting and fun in a totally different way and still feels really fast. I've got a Ducati Hypermotard 698 in the garage right now as a long-term loaner. Got a review coming out on that one in 2 weeks, I think. The weather's got to get better. But I'm having a ton of fun on that bike. It's super fun and interesting to ride. It only makes like 70 horsepower. So I don't think it's going to ruin all bikes for you. Nandish had a question on here. Thank you for the $5, my friend. Tell me your experience on Triumph Speedmaster. How was it? It was pretty nondescript, honestly. I put out that video where I was in California, and I chose not to do a dedicated review on the Speedmaster because I didn't feel like I had too many positive things to say about it. I thought the ergonomics package was a little awkward. I love that torquey, velvety Bonneville engine, but I didn't think that the Speedmaster did anything super interesting that any other non-Harley cruiser I've ridden does, right? It was functionally identical to me to a Honda Rebel 1100, some Metro cruisers I've ridden. Like, they're all kind of the same thing. Like, the Honda feels a little more plasticky than the Triumph, but ultimately you have similar amounts of torque, similar amounts of power. I felt like I didn't have too much to contribute to the conversation of a Speedmaster, and I was kind of like, oh, I'd rather make a different type of video than do the review on that one. So that was my thoughts on that bike. Mad Croatian on YouTube. Can you please tell me how the 675 RS lap timer works without having to manually press it every lap? What a specific question. We're not going to spend too much time on this one. I've been trying to figure it out for a year, but I can't get the auto distance function to work. I don't know how to make that work either. As far as I understand, lap timers that come stock on motorcycles like the Street Triple that are more track oriented, you have to hit the pass button or the horn button or something every time you hit the start, stop, finish straight. Did I say that right? Start, stop, finish? The line that the lap starts on. You guys know what I'm talking about. I didn't know it could be automatic, so I might have to do some menu diving to really learn. Okay, Debbie Milka, 2251. That's a powerful username, Milk and Debbie. Deb fell off the bike. Now we're gonna milk her. I don't want to say that. What are we supposed to do when pulled over by the law? Do's and don'ts. Do I stop? Do I flip up my visor to talk, to be heard, and then just hands on grips until told otherwise? What about pillion sitting behind me? I have been very fortunate and knock on plastic leg of table, knock on anything, knock on microphone. I haven't been pulled over on a bike in a very long time. But when I was younger, I got pulled over quite a bit because I was stupid. And the respectful thing to do is when you get pulled over, turn off your bike, especially if it's a loud ass motorcycle. Turn it off. Flip the key off too, so you don't drain the battery, right? Because you don't know how long you're gonna be talking to the guy. It'd be really embarrassing if you drain your battery while you're sitting there. So do that first as the officer approaches. You don't have to keep your hands on the grips like you're about to take off because it will imply to him that if your hands on the grips, you're trying to leave. I usually just like what I did is like I turned the bike off, I keyed it off. I kind of just like sat back and just like kind of put my hands kind of on the gas tank and just waited. I'd kind of look back and see if he's coming up, you know. Sometimes definitely flip up your visor so they can at least see your eyes. You don't have to take off your helmet if you don't feel like it. If you feel like, you know, when you give them your ID or whatever, you want to be seen, you could do that. I never took off my helmet unless I was asked to. If you have a GoPro on your helmet, might be a good time to put that away quickly if you if you don't want any trouble. I'm just saying you may not want you know, evidence of your wrongdoing to fall into the wrong hands. And then yeah, just, you know, politely listen to the guy. If he caught you fair and square, don't put up too much of a stink. Just be respectful. Just, you know, I think so many people get into trouble with law enforcement when they start just being a dick. You know, I'm not saying that you have to listen and do every single thing the cop says. If he's overstepping your rights or if he's, you know, being an asshole to you, the best course of action is to just, you know, politely be like, all right, you know, whatever. We'll see you in court. Okay, cool. Yeah. And I've had to do that before with some cops where you're like, I just stopped listening. I stopped looking at him and I'm like, all right, are we done? Cool. Okay. Thanks. Have a good day. All right. Appreciate it. Just take the ticket and leave. But in life, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So if you're positive, if you're, you know, respectful, if you're apologetic, if you got pulled over doing something stupid, you know, if you just ripped a wheelie in the middle of an intersection and the guy saw you, just, you're going to be a little sheepish. So that would be my recommendation. All right. K Bear Pro on YouTube. How do you know if it's time to replace your helmet or other gear? So helmets have a 5-year rule. The EPS liner, the foam inside of a helmet, will degrade over time, and most helmet manufacturers say that after 5 years, it's time to replace that because the structural integrity of the foam degrades over time. So that's the rule for helmets. Other gear, as long as it's not completely busted up and you can be in it and you don't mind being seen in it. I've worn busted up gear for a very long time. I had a busted up tracksuit for a long time, busted up boots, busted up gloves. As long as you don't mind and it works and it's still functional, then it's all good. You know, if the stitching is all in place, if the armor's all in place, then you can still wear it. So, yeah. Boys, that finishes up the questions. There we go. And Zoro Kitty just asked, how do we ask questions? Drop one on chat and I will try to answer, but we're moving on to the next segment, so I may not get the chance to do it. But if you look at this thing right here, it says to join our community and to access our Discord server and ask your motorcycle questions. And you can be featured on the stream as well if you drop it in the live stream submissions chat. So, yeah, there you go. But now it's time for Bike Roast or Boast. Goodness gracious, we are starting 2025 off with one of the most cursed and beautiful images I've ever seen. Boys, let's spend some time on this one. We got Valentino Rossi, beautiful as ever in the middle. We have what appears to be dolphins and like Fern Gully in the background, a Spyro the Dragon themed Hayabusa in the back, and an Iron Man rock form, not rock form, Jesus, a Roo Rock helmet in the middle there. Man, what a crazy image. What a crazy, crazy, crazy image. And I do have to answer Sean here, who said, had someone claiming to be you to say I want a 2022 ZX-10R. Use your brain, Sean. Well, I don't even have that bike in my stable. I'm not all the giveaway bikes I show on the channel. It's a scam. It's 100% a scam. Don't do it. If they ask for your birthday and your social security number, don't do it. It's not me. All right, boys. Coffee Spree on Discord. I bought this bike last year, and I've loved every bit of it. As of last weekend, it's sitting at 19,000 miles. The only thing I want to change is the tires. Currently on the bike are the same tires that comes with it. Michelin Road 5's a phenomenal tire that I've scraped plenty of foot peg with. However, there's just one thing I don't like about them, the look. What? You don't like the look of the tires? I've been eyeing the Dunlop Mutant tires for their aesthetic, but I don't want to sacrifice too much longevity or grip for the sake of looks. What tires do you recommend for a similar price range that will do the same job as my Road 5s? I'll be needing both tires come next season, and this is my third rear and second front. Okay, let's see what bike this guy has. Did we get the bike? No, he just said I bought the bike. I have to guess. It's an XSR 700, right? Yeah, it's an XSR 700. What on God's green earth? What on God's green earth are we talking about that the tire isn't aesthetic? What? It's a tire. Who cares? They're all black and round. Am I missing something? Are you talking about the tread pattern? What? I'm a little confused. I've never heard anyone say that they wanted to change out their tire because of aesthetic reasons. My guy, it sounds like you love the tire. It's got grip and it lasts a long time. I mean, I love the Road 5s. That is such a wild. I've never, ever in my 10 years of doing this have heard someone say that the aesthetic of the tire is bad. But first of all, let's talk about the bike. XSR 700. Fantastic machine. Fun, peppy, playful. You got the little wind guard on it. Looks cool. I like the seat. I like the gold wheels. Yamaha colorway on these bikes are so great. We did one of these as a giveaway in 2020. That was 4.5 years ago now, summer of 2020. And I had a lot of fun. We put an exhaust on it. It could wheelie real nice. And yeah, it was pretty good. Ken yelling at me says he doesn't like the tread pattern. What? How is that a thing? It's just a tire. Maybe I'm getting old, but I don't really understand that. Somebody back me up. Okay, I'll put it to a poll then. I'll put it to a poll because I'm curious. I'm gonna ask you guys: do you care about? Whoops. You care about? I got this other keyboard in front of me. Do you care about the tire tread pattern aesthetic? Yes or no? Start the poll, baby. I gotta know. I really do. I'm just curious. Got a Brazilian guy on here. Yammie, você tem muitos, oh my god, admiradores aqui no Brasil e você, sendo brasileiro, e convido para vir conhecer o melhor seu país. You're really putting me on the spot with I'm having to go English to Portuguese there. I would love to come back to Brazil. That's what you're saying, basically, saying to come check it out and come hang out. Because there's lots of cool roads I want to check out there. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the XSR 700 here. Yeah, I gotta know. Okay, 80% of people saying doesn't matter. I'm really happy. It was about to break my brain if everyone was like, yeah, tread pattern's really important to me. I was like, what are we talking about? What? It'd be like someone saying, my valve stem caps have to be red, otherwise I can't ride the bike. It's like, what are we doing? Okay, I'm going to rate this one, the XSR 700. Love the bike. Bizarre tire tangent that we went down on. I'm going to rate it. It's a solid 8.5 out of 10. Really great bike. Really great look. Looks clean. I like the tail tidy. I'm enjoying it. All right, Stacy the Death Star on Discord. Howdy, Papa Yam. You got me started on the green Ninja 400. It was the perfect beginner bike. Yes, rode that for 2 years, 7K miles. I would have liked to see more miles in 2 years, but I don't know your life. Maybe you had something happen. Bought my 2024 Africa Twin base in June when they started coming in, and it was the greatest decision ever. I ride it to work daily now. My goodness. And I even take it to the trails in the Sam Houston National Forest. I've dropped it, and it gets back up and asks for more. I love the power, size, suspension, travel, cruise control, stability, and everything I throw at it. I find another reason to love it. Being an ADV dad was the best choice, and I think I've ever made, and I'm definitely hooked. Now to find a 1993 XRV 750 Africa Twin in purple and teal to add to the collection. Very good choice there. So the Africa Twin, for me, was a bike that Uh, what is the I swear to God, folks, the top box variation we have on these submissions are wild. Is that like a single personal pizza holder? What's or is it the world's skinniest auxiliary gas tank? It holds 400 ml of gas. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know about this top box. What is that for? Am I just mentally challenged? Do I not understand? Has it been too long that I've done one of these and I've forgotten that top boxes could be something else other than a normal box that can fit a small Filipino boy? This guy in the back here looks like he's kind of looking at the skinny little top box, being like, "What do you got in there? What do you got in there? You got cutting tools? Is he a chef? Is this chef Filipino man looking at the top box? We're going down a weird tread with this." Okay, so Africans win. I used to dump all over these bikes. I don't know why. I was always like, nah, they're not that interesting. They're not that cool. They represent very good value for money. They do everything an adventure bike needs to do, and they're reliable. They make a great sound. I don't love the front end. I've always thought it looked a little like random Chinese bike to me. But you know, it's a great bike. And in red, upgrading from Ninja 400, doing a slightly different power progression upgrade, right? Like you're going big adventure bike instead of ZX6, ZX10, naked bike. Like I love to see that people are thinking about their riding, thinking about what they want to do, and ending up super happy with it, right? And these trails look awesome. I got to maybe check out the Sam Houston National Forest one day. Only a scant 5 hours from where I live. No big deal. Beyond EQ says maybe it holds tools in case the bike decides to die. Boy, it's a Honda. It will never die. It will never die. Well, what about the tread patterns on this thing? We got to talk about that. Oh, so embarrassing. The tread. Oh, we're down to 71% on no on the tread patterns. Jesus Christ, guys. Come on, help me out here. All right, Africa Twin, base model, looking beautiful, doing everything it needs to do, and yeah, enjoying it. Yeah, pretty cool. We did get a question here. Sofa King Crazy. I had to do a nice space in your username. Otherwise, I will say some naughty words. Hi, any opinions on the Adam Sandoval video completely strawmanning you? If you don't know what I mean, YouTube search your name and his name. Yeah, I caught that video a few weeks back. Really silly. Absolute trash tier content, in my opinion. Basically said nothing of substance related to what I was saying. Also, cut out the entire thing I talked about where I'm an immigrant and that was my background and I'm from Brazil and that's why I felt like American culture wasn't for me. So I really didn't appreciate the character assassination. I didn't appreciate the thumbnail saying that I hate America, which is just patently absurd. But content's gonna content, right? People got to go out there. You know, he puts out a video with my name in the title, gets a bunch of views. It is what it is. You play the game. I understand. I'd do it myself too. But, you know, I didn't appreciate it. Honestly, I didn't appreciate it. All right. So Big Bada Boom on Discord asks me, Yammie, I'm obese and have no friends. We're starting off strong, boys, but that's a different issue. I accepted your challenge to try to take the most hated bike and elevate it to status of meh. The rules only two. Total investment all in, including buying the bike capped at 3.5K. Second rule, I had to do all the work and I'm no mechanic. He found an 08 Versus 650 with 105,000 miles. God damn. That Versus has been run to the ground. Was ridden on a cross-continent bike. Guy just got too old to ride anymore. Every upgrade known to Versus-dom. From nutsack warmer to an air horn and side saddle so big you can smuggle an entire Filipino family. All right, now we're talking. Complete refresh stem to stern. If it was a wearable part, it was replaced. I was able to reduce the bike's weight by 300 pounds, and that was just getting off of it. Well, Mr. Yammie, I present to you my take on the Versus 650. Let's check it out. Before, that is a proper touring spec bike. And again, doing it on the cheap, does everything it needs to do. Big adventures, pretty awesome. What did we do after? During, holy crap, this guy, yeah, he got it off. Got the wheels off, seat, front wheel. I wonder if you refresh stuff like the the head bearings, and I wonder how deep you went on this. You have a floor jack, so I assume you did something to have to suspend the engine a little bit. So clearly put in some work on this thing. Respect, respect. And after, look at this. Okay. Oh, he got the watermark on the Kawasaki. If you guys don't know, this is the mark that they reserve for their highest tier motorcycles. You will see this mark on Kawasaki bikes that they are most proud of. The H2, the ZX4, the ZX6, the ZX10. They all have the mighty watermark on it. And this may be the best looking '08 versus 650 I've ever seen. It actually is not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing. What are we rating the tread pattern? I'm sorry I keep bringing it up. I'm sorry I keep bringing up the tread pattern. It's just too funny, man. It's too funny. Why am I all of a sudden like, all right, this versus 650 kind of slaps. It's kind of good though, right? This is kind of good. Kind of ahead of its time. Look at the swing arm. I think the headlight is a little funky still though. I think it's a little funky. Sivo says, didn't they put the watermark on the hybrid bike? Because they're proud of it. It's a hybrid motorcycle. I just said they put it on anything they're proud of, you know? So that was the thing. This guy did a really good job on this versus, I have to admit. I am curious. You did say you were on the larger side. If in all of this effort, you should have definitely, hopefully you did. I can't tell if you did. To upgrade the suspension would have been a really nice touch as well. I see maybe a brake line that's aftermarket. That doesn't look like factory routing. Maybe it is. I don't know. Brake rotors, really nice. Nice upgrade there. That's definitely not stock. This is a really good looking versus, and I'm very proud of you. And you know what? Because it's a versus, and you took it on, and you made it cool. You made it yours. It kind of looks like an old school MT-07. Let's give it a 9 out of 10. I like it. Entropy says, the Adam dude lied the entire video and framed you as a completely different person than you are, even lying about your beliefs on bikes. That doesn't surprise me at all. I saw the comment section on that video, and it was just absolute trash. Everyone being like, he's a sport bike guy. He only likes sport bikes. So I'm like, I literally own an adventure bike, but, you know, what are we going to do? All right. Pepper Katnada on Discord. We got a long one. I'm trying to get through this one. My 1993 Suzuki DR350S. I started riding this year and its first real motorcycle. I wanted to follow the advice of it's best to start on a dual sport and found this with low miles and the motor running all right. It's 31 years old. Holy crap. It's kickstart only. It's heavy for a dual sport. It's plastics and permanently smudged with dirt and grime. And I wrecked it day one, giving myself a knee injury for about 2 months. Oh, no. It's an absolute pain to kick over. I put a new gas tank on it, upgraded the carb to the dirt model carb, and I'm working on fixing a spare motor that I bought from a guy to be able to convert it to an electric start. Other than that, I took a taillight and fender off a Clap DR650, did some mods. Despite all that, it's a thrill in my life that I need. It's taught me a lot about motorcycles. That's very important, particularly how to fix them and what I'm looking for in a bike in the future. It's not the best bike, but it's mine, and I've got a lot more pride in it and a lot more respect for motorcycles as a whole. Roast away. This is awesome, right? Like this is what we aspire to, right? With motorcycling, you bought this thing, you learned how to ride, it spit you off and you hurt your knee, which really sucks, but you learned stuff, you did stuff, you experienced stuff, you have stories to tell from the bike, and that is what life is about, my friends. Motorcycling is about the stories that these things give to us, the experiences they give to us. It doesn't matter if you're on a 31-year-old DR350 or a brand new Panigale. Motorcycles give you stories. They give you life experiences. They teach you things. I guarantee you this guy is a better man because of this bike, this old-ass Suzuki, which is actually pretty sweet. He's a better man for it. Big-ass gas tank right there. Look at these dinosaur forks, man. We have evolved quite a bit with the dual sport market. You look at like a KTM 500 versus this, you're like, God damn, we've evolved. But the DR is still pretty good, man. This is old school. And I cannot believe they made a new DRZ. They're coming out, the DRZ 4S is what they're calling it. This is pretty sweet. I like the R, kind of like a GSX-R right there on the exhaust. Looks like an aftermarket subframe cover here of some description. Yeah, I like it. Fresh tires on it. Looks good. Yeah. I like the blue frame. You know what? This is a cool bike. I'm sure this is a ton of fun to ride. Got the exhaust right there. Yeah, boys, this is a good one. I like it. I like this one. And I like the story behind it. I like that it spit you off. I like that you fixed it. I like that you kept with it. And I like that you're doing stuff with your bike. That's what I want to see more of. Cool stuff that people are doing with their bikes. I really appreciate that. All right. Akuma Ra on Discord. My submission is a bit of an odd one. Not all my pictures are in order, but this is from my recent crash where I was hit from behind by a speeding car after slowing down to avoid a car that had a blowout. I was traveling around 80 kilometers an hour. That's about 48 miles an hour, I think. And the car that hit me was going around 140, where the speed limit is 120. Ugh, ouch. It's a speed delta of like 60 Ks an hour. Within 5 minutes, medics arrived as well, my friends and family. A lot of my gear had to be cut off in order to stabilize me. If it wasn't for the paramedics, said that it would have been a lot worse. A few days in the hospital and one surgery for my right arm as it broke, shown in the pictures. Bitter road rash on my knees. And of course, the bill so far for the bike and me is around $13,000 US and counting because I still have more doctor and physio visits. Ouch. Oh man, kind of a sour note on this here bike submission. I can tell that this is by, he said kilometers. I believe this user is in South Africa, if I remember correctly, because I've seen him post on Discord before. So we see a pretty busted up KTM 790 Adventure. Nice little motorcycle. It was maybe not, I mean, it's not so nice now anymore, right? It unfortunately did get crashed, but this looks fixable. This doesn't look like, you know, a total write-off. It's possible that because he was hit from behind, you have subframe damage and it got tweaked or whatever, and I don't remember if these have a removable subframe or not. So it could be totaled. It's hard to tell, but from my eye looking at it right here, I'm like, it's not that bad. Ew. Ouch. That is a nasty break. Boys, let's get an F in the chat for this break. We are very happy this gentleman is okay and wants to ride again and is not more seriously hurt. That is a nasty, nasty elbow break. Look at that. Vincent asked if I'm going to do the It Came From Facebook segment. I do want to do more of those. I think next week we're going to do a grab bag from the wider world of the internet because that is pretty fun. Dax on Discord. This is my 2020 Husky FS450. It won a championship in 2022 and then sat in the shop for 2 years. All I had to do was replace fluids and send it. It has a Vortex ECU, fork springs, Oberon clutch sleeve cylinder, and that's it. I bought it because it's for maximum seat time, because there's more SM race series than any other class here, and a day on the cart is only $30 or $50 if you go to the fancy one. It's the most fun I've ever had on a bike. Currently sharing custody of it with this kitten I met at the track, who I've named Krusty because he likes pizza crust. Oh, for FS450, boys. Nasty supermoto. Nasty bike. Nasty bike. Factory ready to go. As you can tell, not street legal. You'd have to do some work to make this street legal. This is a race bike for goofing around on the track. And this one looks pretty darn spicy. Paint scheme looks good. Looks clean. I like the tire warmers on it. Got the proper, like, motocross little stand for it. That's really making life a lot easier for you there. Got the numbers on it. Oh, look at this little cat on top of the bike. We love cats and bikes. Cats are so special, so sweet. Of course, he's coming in for pizza. And look, he's just big chilling on the bike, acting like he owns the place. Looking like some sort of special from a little cartoon or something, an anime perhaps. How adorable. How adorable. I like this little cat. I like the bike. Proper 450 on a cart. So much fun. Very, very cool. Yeah. Super excited about this one. All right, Alex on Discord. This is my 2021 Yamaha MT-07. I had spent months looking for it in this color after moving to Texas in August. Legit drove from San Antonio to DFW and back just to finally have it. Oh my God, that is a long drive. That's like 5 hours. It is so fun to ride. It gets plenty of looks around town. I know it's not some crazy cool or fast bike, but I love it and it's mine. Brother, it doesn't have to be crazy fast. It doesn't have to be crazy cool. Your bike is cool because it's your bike. You know, that's all that matters. Yes, I changed the exhaust. Previous owner had some weird one. Now it has the Acura on it. Let's take a look. This is a great colorway for the MT-07. I'm really excited, and I really want to get one this year because they revamped this bike completely for 25. I'm super interested to ride it. They apparently redid the front suspension. They changed the geometry, as far as I understand. They made it lighter. They have, I think it's ride-by-wire now. There's a TFT. There's a lot of new stuff on the MT-07 that I would love to get one and do a really thorough deep dive. I think that'd be a ton of fun. But this one looks great. This is the exact same color we had when we did our double MT-07 giveaway in 23. My boy rocking the Marc Marquez replica already in Todo Rojo. My boy coming to come through. Factory Ducati going to chop up all the competition this year. Don't at me. I already believe he can do it. The greatest comeback in motorsports history. He will accomplish it. He will achieve it. But that's not what we're talking about today. Looking good. Nice. That's not the Acura, is it? I can't tell. Yeah, I don't think that's the Acura. It's got some weird Chinesium pipe on there right now. But MT-07's great bike. Super fun, super peppy, super nice to ride. And you will find yourself popping wheelies on that one in no time. Those bikes are just so much fun to wheelie. The second gear clutch ups are like nothing for those. It's just fun. Fun machine. All right, ride like boo. I just picked this up. It's a 2016 Ducati Hypermotard 939, Aero exhaust, Adriani 4 cartridge kit, servo buddy. I'm ordering a quick shifter with some carbon goods along with getting a tune. Can't wait to squid on this thing. I've wanted one for years. I went with this one over the 950 due to the better exhaust note out of the 939 and the ability to do clutch up wheelies. I hear the 950 has too many electronics, which prohibits clutch ups. The 950 Ducati Hypermotard is also a complete basket case motorcycle. That one had a ton of problems, a ton of weirdness with it. Yeah, I never, that bike is a disaster. But the 939 that has the new Testostrada motor in it, I think this one was a lot better. And before they had the Hypermotard that they launched late last year, this was Ducati's Supermoto. And it's not really a supermoto. It's a hypermotard. It's got a big twin cylinder, a big trellis frame. It weighs like 400-something pounds, but it's still a ton of fun to ride. I love the hypermotards. They're a ton of fun to ride. Really, really enjoyable machines. Really, really like them. And this one's beautiful for being a 2016. Really good spec. Single-sided swing arm, trellis frame. This classic. Ducati's not doing this anymore, boys. They're going two-sided swing arms. There's no more trellis frames. No more Desmo valves. I'm like, it's not even a Ducati anymore. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? This one looks good, though. I think the headlight in this looks a teensy bit outdated now, but the rest of it still looks really handsome, really nice. Top box. Here we go. How many Filipino boys? Chopped up, maybe half of one. Half of one could easily fit in there. Ground down into a fine paste. You could easily put half of one in there. Easily. All right. Village Idiot on Discord. 1999 Buell M2 Cyclone. Got it on a part of a trade. Traditional crap bike, if I say so myself. It's been spray bombed what looks like to be 3 times. The carb is missing some screws. The front shocks leaks like a sieve. The rear shock might as well be a pogo. And the seat has all the gooch juice. It does run and ride, though, just horribly. I've been watching your channel for 7 years, so this is my first entry, so please roast away this turd. I can't wait to look at this thing. 1999 Buell M2 Cyclone. Boys, I gotta be honest, I don't know a gosh dang thing about the Buell Cyclone M2, the M2 Cyclone. I don't know anything about this bike. I do know from what I can see right here that it's using a Sportster engine, right? Because Buell's did back in the day. Big perimeter brake, 3-spoke wheels. We have the belt drive from the Sportster as well. And this, early Buells to me look like such abominations that were built in the backyard because they kind of were. They they kind of, I mean, you look at this thing, you're like, yeah, somebody shoehorned a Sportster engine into some random like sport bike chassis. It really feels like a backyard effort, but it's not because it was Buell. It was an actual company. It's a real thing someone built. This one doesn't appear to have the gas and frame setup that the later Buells had. I don't think that they had done this yet, but yeah, somebody's saying the engines look like they came out of tractors. Yeah, I mean, it's a Sportster engine, so, it's a bit agricultural in nature. Let's just put it that way. But, I honestly, for how crappy you said it was, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But I don't understand why it's like matte black and then like weird chameleon blue. That's a bit hard to understand. But it's, I think you got a bike and you're having fun. That's all that matters, my boy. That's all that matters. And it's a weird find, too. Kind of a rare gem, a weird relic. All right. Burning Ant X on Discord. This is my track prep 2005 636. My first bike was a Vidpillin, and I did one track day on it, and I was instantly addicted to the track life. Love to hear it. I picked this up for $1,900. It was supposed to be $2,000, but battery was dead, so I bought it on a whim without seeing it run because it looked very clean and the guy's garage was OCD spotless, and I'm glad I did that. That's always a great thing to do. I've talked to you guys about this before. If you see in the listing someone has very clean garage, very tidy, it means that they probably took care of the machine. Engine has 11,000 miles on it. Frame is straight. Everything has been touched. Aftermarket sprockets, chains, direct line brakes. Nice. Full exhaust. It's currently stored in a shed at the shop I work until I clear some garage space and track days pop up for the spring. Just wanted to boast about this because everyone tells me it was a dumb purchase. I don't think this is a dumb purchase at all. How much you pick this up for? $1,900? Boys, a running track bike for $1,900? To me, this is a complete win. This is a complete win to pick up a running track motorcycle, a 600 class bike for $1,900. Abso-freaking-lutely. Every day of the week, all day, every day. Sexy tread pattern on the tire, which is something we need to think about now. I see white number plates here. Possibly a old race bike, maybe an expert class bike in somebody's series. We have frame sliders. We got some stuff. I'm into it, man. $1,900, dude. But I mean, I've spent more on that on the Daytona back in the day. Just doing crap to the Daytona, I spent more than $1,900. So you got a whole bike for $1,900 that runs and rides, sold. Even if you use it for just one season and you sell it for $1,500, you got to use a 600cc track bike for $400 for the year. Who can say that? Who can say that? Nobody. So anybody that tells you it's a dumb purchase is a moron. All right, boys. Oriel on Discord. Roaster Boast entry. This is my 2022 Mitt Scrambler 125 SC. It is a fairly uncommon brand. It is Spain-based where I'm from, but it has an engine from China. I bought it for my A1 license 2 years ago. Has a demoralizing top speed of 110 kilometers an hour, which is, I think, like 65 miles an hour. But it's still fun on the twisties. For an A1, it's a pretty good bargain, as it only cost me 2,500 euros and gets 1,000,000 miles to the gallon. I've already logged around 8,000 kilometers on it and can't wait to buy a CF Moto 450 SR for my A2 license. This guy just wants to stick with the Chinese thing, I see. So in Europe, they have these all over the place. I saw when I was in London in 2019 and in Spain and in Italy and in Germany and in France. I've been to quite a few places in Europe, and you see these like nondescript, strange 125cc bikes everywhere. They're these like Lex Motos and these little things. They are everywhere. They're everywhere. And I really think that, for the type of rider that is buying them in these markets where they're constrained by their A1 license, it's a handsome little motorcycle, and it does the motorcycle thing. And you got to remember, these places, the streets are way smaller. Everything's a little more narrow. But, you can still get up to 60-something miles an hour, so it's basically like a Grom, and that's pretty good, I think that you're starting off safe, you're starting off fun, you're doing what you need to do with your A1 bike. And, you know, it's a bit strange that it's a Spanish brand with a Chinese engine, you know, kind of like a Janus thing going on, but I respect it, you know, I respect it. And it does look pretty handsome. I will say many of these photos are far away and kind of like, you know, blurry. So I can't really get a good look at it, but from what I tell, if I squint my eyes, I kind of get Ducati Scrambler, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, boys. It's motorcycle trivia time. We have here a brand new graphic as well. Got the two Busa fighters. We got Kyle and the Busa guy. If a turbo boost is measured in neat energy, what is the equivalent value if converted to joules, the SI unit of work or energy, and it is incalculable by modern science. So let's get started. Let's have some fun. Do some trivia. All right. In what year did the first motorcycle go over 200 miles an hour? We have a photo. Excuse my sniffing, boys. We have a photo of what I imagine to be every single YouTube commenter saying, bro, I ride a Gixxer Thou, bro. Bro, I started on a 1000, bro. Look at this pinnacle of masculinity, boys. If you're not on a 1000 and you have turkey ham quads, well, you're just simply not man enough. You're not good enough to ride. So obviously, there you go. Oh, whoops, I didn't see it. Hold on. I have to answer the question. I thought I was still doing the bike roast, but I'm not. I would say the first year that we went over 200. Maybe some lunatic in the 30s on a Vincent Shadow. I'm gonna say some guy in the 30s on a Vincent Shadow. The NSU Delphin 3, first bike reaching 211.4 miles per hour at the Bonneville Speedway in 1956. Look at this guy. He looks like a spaceman. So it was a Speedliner. Okay. Oh, look at the frontal area. This is crazy compared to a regular bike and a regular rider. That's actually a really cool graphic because you can see the difference. Holy crap. These guys were nuts, dude. These guys were so insane. This man is literally encapsulated. This is a coffin, basically. This is definitely a coffin for this guy. 211 miles an hour. Well, I'll tell you what. I reached that same speed on a Ninja H2. 70-something years later. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I guess it'd be 68 years later that I did that. 67 years. Whatever. All right. True or false? A boat carrying Joey Dunlop wrecked and sank on the trip between Northern Ireland and the Isle of Man. True or false? A boat carrying Joey Dunlop wrecked and sank on the trip between Northern Ireland and the Isle of Man. Well, Joey. Oh no, implying that he died. I mean, maybe it wrecked and sank, but maybe he like got out on a life raft or something because he didn't die that way. So I'm gonna say false. True. God damn. Oh, they were rescued. Yeah, okay. True. Dunlop and other riders were on the Tornamona when it crashed and sank in 1985. They were rescued by a lifeboat. That is so crazy. Wow. That's kind of unbelievable. I guess he really did. Yeah, look at that. All right, next question. How many motorcycles from Royal Enfield were sold in 2024? Oh, I think it's a biblical number. I think it's a monstrous number. Man. Just in the Indian market? Dude, probably hundreds of thousands, I think. Hundreds of thousands, right? I'm going to say how many Indian bikes did they sold? Let's be conservative. Let's say 500,000. They sold 500,000 bikes. I was pretty close. 857,378 motorcycles. The craziest thing about this fact is when I did, I think it was the Super Meteor event for Royal Enfield in 23, 2 years ago. The graph of how many bikes they've been growing to sell year over year. Why did I say that like that? It makes it sound like they're growing in a garden. The amount of motorcycles they've sold year over year has grown tremendously. It's like an exponential curve. So they're doing very well. 857,000 is a ton of bikes. But then you put it into context. I think Honda sold like 20 million bikes or something like that last year. It's just crazy. Nonsense figures. What manufacturer makes the engines for John Deere Z-Track zero-turn mowers? Now, I am a suburban dad at this point. You guys know that. But I'm so suburban now that I don't do my own lawn care. I have a tiny little electric mower. I'm not cool enough to own a zero-turn Z-Track John Deere mower. That thing looks pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie. What manufacturer makes the engine? Is it Rotax? Would that be crazy? AA Battery says Harley? We don't know. We don't know, boys. Incognito thinks Kawasaki. Blue Stella says there was a recall on these. Is it Cowie? I said Rotax first, so let's see. Kawasaki! Oh my god! Kawasaki makes V-twin lawnmower engines that range between 14 and 38 horsepower. They can be found in mowers from John Deere, Cub Cadet, Husqvarna, and Toro. Boys, we got to get one of these lawnmower V-twins and put them in something, man. We got to find a motorcycle builder type here in DFW who can put a Kawasaki lawnmower engine into a sport bike chassis, and we can go send it. That's pretty impressive. Name 4 bikes featured in the 2003 film Biker Boys. Oh, I got you, son. I got you. Okay. Suzuki Hayabusa. Easy. Lawrence Fishburne rides one. Suzuki TL1000R. I know that for a fact. Also, is that Kid Rock in the middle? Was he in this movie? That's crazy. I'm also going to say Suzuki Katana. Was that 3 Suzukis? I mean, I feel like Biker Boys only has Suzukis, honestly. Okay, so what did I say? Busa, TL1000R, Katana, and I think a GSX-R 600. Oh, I was close. I got 3 of them. 99 Busa, 01 Gixxer 750, the 600. I'll give myself a half a point there. TL1000R, and the CBR 1100XX. 09 or 98 R1, ZX12. I should have put more open class bikes. I got like 3. I got 2.5 of them, though. 2.5 of them. That's hilarious. Who crashed the most in the 2024 MotoGP season? How many crashes did he have? Boys, I know this one off the back of my hand. It was Joan Mir. I know for a fact that Joan Mir crashed the most in 2024 because they had that graphic on speed dial the whole year, man. It was every session, every race, all the time. Joan Mir, factory Honda rider, Repsol, which they're not even going to be on the bike anymore. They're no more Repsol Honda. Can you believe that? He crashed the most. And I think he crashed, I'm going to say, I think he crashed like 42 times, if I remember correctly. Pedro Acosta? What, Joan Mir's not even at the top there? Are you serious? He only crashed 17 times? I guess I didn't think about practice sessions. Mark crashed 24 times on the Ducati? That doesn't even sound right. Who of the actual full-time riders crashed the least? Pecco did? And Fabio? But Pecco crashed when it counted. He crashed in races. Man. Poor Pedro. Pedro crashed the most, and he still finished just like 2 points off of Brad Binder in the standings. And Pedro finished, I think, 5th in the standings, or maybe 6th as a rookie. Super impressive rider. Just has to stop crashing, apparently. 28, I had no idea. Alex, really? That's so surprising. I thought Joan Mir was easily. Well, I don't know my little MotoGP stats, I guess, as much as I watch the damn thing. All right, boys, mystery box. It's that time. Okay. This one was provided by Lady Yam. This was not provided by producer Logan. This was provided by my wife. She literally bought this a few hours ago because I was like, I don't have anything for the mystery box. And she's like, I'm going to go get you something. So we have a 2-part mystery box. We have 2 things. We're going to open the tiny one first. It's like Christmas, I swear. We have this is a plaque of some sort. What does it say? Oh, no. God. Ew. I think we've gotten something like this before. This is a metal plaque that says, 4 wheels moves the body, 2 wheels moves the soul. Oh, so interesting, so deep, such dime store enlightenment from this plaque. And graphic design is my passion. showing off the tribal tattoo in the background. I'm really hating on this thing, but this is not my speed. I appreciate the message, but it's not my speed. What a cheeseball gift. Imagine someone gave this to me on Christmas and that's what I said about it right to their face. I was like, what a cheeseball piece of crap. I hate you. All right. Next, we have something else that feels like some sort of like a plaque of some sort again. Maybe a piece of art. Oh boy. It's definitely some. What do we got here? Oh, wow. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. We got a little dog and a cat riding together, what looks to be on a classic Honda of some sort with the square turn lights. Just having a beautiful time in the countryside. This is, okay, when I tell you guys to have fun on your motorcycle, this is what I want you to do. This is the idealized primordial version of just like enjoying your ride that I want. Like, you guys think about this image. Just think about this. Look how pleasing these two creatures are on this bike. It's nice. Think about it. This is what I want to get. Like, find someone you love and do this with them. So cute. So nice. Someone pointed out it's a BMW. Yeah, I guess it's so late in the stream that I don't even see the BMW badge on the damn bike. I said, that's a Honda. This is why you don't listen to Yammie Noob. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That guy's a moron. It's late in the stream, boys. Yeah, big-ass BMW logo. I'm like, it's a Honda. Look at that. People got onto me one time. I said, I was talking about cars. I said Honda Prius. Oh, my God. I got chewed alive for saying Honda Prius. People, oh, my God, they got so mad at me. I know it's a Toyota. I just misspoke, okay? Please cut me some slack. Boys, thank you so much for tuning into the first stream of 2025. Hope you had some fun. This one was a lot of fun. Nice little wholesome message at the end. And yeah, go out there, have some fun. Try to stay warm. It is getting chilly out there. Let's keep it intact for spring. Let's start getting warm. The riding season is going to be amazing. So much fun stuff to look forward to. Thanks so much for checking out the stream, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.